Hi everyone, today's piece I have taken from the book St.Colmcille A Life's Journey by Christy Gillespie, and it's about the makeup of Irish society in the 6th century. So Ireland in the 5th century was a Celtic country. The Celts were a warlike tribe who reached Ireland around 600 BC, having spread out all over Europe from the centre of the continent. With their iron swords and axes, they quickly overwhelmed the resident Tuatha De Danann, and being skilled in agriculture, they soon gained a permanent foothold in the country. The Celtic way of life would later die out in many parts of Europe. Ireland was at the time not a kingdom or state as we would know it today, but was instead a confederation of small states or clans called Tuatha. Each made its own laws, raised and spent its own taxes, and was governed by its own chieftain, and was particularly independent within its own limits. Each Tuatha was made up of a number of families, each sharing a common great-grandfather, while the uniting thread throughout the whole Tuatha was that everybody shared a common ancestor, and the total members making up the clan were known as the Kinnell. Within this Tuatha there existed a rigid class system comprising of 4 layers. At the top of the pyramid was the Rí Tuatha, who was elected by free male members of the clan. The next layer comprised of the aristocracy, known as the Aistana or learned class. These were made up as follows. Druids. These were pagan priests who also dabbled in medicine and prophesied the outcome of future events. Nobles, a land-owning warrior group. Brehons, judges who administered Celtic Brehon law right down until the 17th century, and they had to train for 20 years. And there was the Bards, or Filly, and these were in charge of genealogies and history, which was recorded in poetic form. And these had the ability to eulogise or satirise their royal patron, thereby ensuring adequate patronage. Next in importance to this privileged class were the Caolas. They were commoners and comprised of craftsmen and farmers. They were also freemen. Last and most definitely least were the Bohas and Fooders, who were a slave class who looked after animals and houses. St. Patrick found himself a member of this class after he had been kidnapped and taken to Ireland. These clans would recognise as superiors an over-king and would pay him a tribute, although this tax was not large. In the same way, the over-kings were superseded by the provincial kings or the Rí Cuaige. But the authority of this provincial king, like that of the over-king, was often no more than nominal, and to all intents and purposes, in theory and in practice, the clan was a self-governing independent state. There were 5 of these provinces, or Cuaige, which were Ulster, Connacht, Munster, Leinster and Tara. The Cuaige of Tara was later incorporated into Leinster, giving us our 4 provinces of today. They are still called the Cuaige, even though they are now only 4. So sometimes the strong Rí Cuaige would attempt to impose authority on another Rí Cuaige and then declare himself as High King of Ireland. And it's with one of these kings, who was Colmcille's great-grandfather, that his story begins. And that's that. Thank you. Bye-bye.